Hey everybody, it is Eric, the owner of Farpoint Farms here. It's been such a long time since I've done a live feed. You'll have to excuse me if things get off to a bumpy start, but it appears to be good. It's giving me a warning about the resolution, but I think if I remember from the last time I used this software, I set the resolution lower and the bit rate a little lower so that we wouldn't have interruptions while doing this, because internet in rural areas can sometimes be a bit tricky. But here we are. And I see a couple of good old fans in here. David G, good to see you as always. Jonathan McKee, good to see you. Super B, good to see you. Smoked one of those beautiful Cuban cigars you sent me not too long ago. In fact, um, late May. I've still got 2 to go. And yeah, it has been 7 or 8 months since the last live stream. I got to double check that because that sounds like even worse than what I was thinking. I thought it had been maybe 3 months, but maybe time has slipped that far. I hope not. Thomas, how you doing? No, definitely not my first live stream. It's just been a long time. So anyway, here we are. It's summer. Jason in Missouri saying hello. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, it's summertime or almost summertime. Wait, did it? Yeah, yeah, it is summertime officially. Life has kind of been a blur. I've been out of town, been way behind on making videos, on commenting on the video comments that I get, on everything. Been way behind on tons of stuff. As y'all know, Quantum Phaser, man, I was just watching your video on leveling some ground with that Cub Cadet. You're going to put a pool in, man. I was checking out all that Johnny product stuff, man. Looking good, brother. America 911, Tracy Aaron, good to see you. Default user ID. Chesapeake Bay. I like that name, man. Default user ID. Hello from Sweden. Boy, man, lots of people, man. Still kicking DC volts. So anyway, I'm going to ignore the comment section, just talk for a few minutes, and then we'll get back into that. But yeah, please like. So, a couple months ago, my back, stupid. It wasn't even my back. It's my ribs. And I don't know how much I really got into it in the 2 videos that I put out about it. But I don't remember the fancy name for it. I'm sure my wife could give you a complete dissertation on what went wrong and how to make it right. I trust her for those kinds of things. But doing something not even all that stupid, but I guess twisting and pulling at a certain age becomes a little more dangerous than it should. So I ripped the cartilage loose from my rib cage on this side and really put a hurting on. And I mean, really put a hurting on. So attempted to ignore it for the next day, the next 24 hours. Matter of fact, put a backpack sprayer on and did some work on the yard. Used the chainsaw some, was dragging wood, but it was like I couldn't even breathe. It was hurting so bad. But anger and just frustration of having to get stuff done for spring kind of pushed me, probably taking what would have been a moderate injury and making it a fairly good sized one. So so that kind of put a big old just nuclear bomb right in the middle of the farm for the year. No vegetables other than the raised beds around the house as a result, which, man, I like was super upset about it, and I won't lie, kind of depressed, but I've gotten over it. Like you make it work. And so the first month and a half or so literally was sitting on a couch. I do work in town now for some folks sometimes, and so some doing that. But like even in that job, having to phone it in, and I don't know if you've come to know me over the years, but I don't like to phone in anything. I'm all or nothing kind of guy, so very frustrating for someone to be in that situation. So that went on and kind of nursed it. And so videos, hadn't really made many videos, maybe 2 or 3 new ones, a lot of product reviews, which I think I've talked about how not really digging the product reviews at this point, but just kind of, it was about all I could put out. So I was making those, and then those have dried up now, hopefully. So then about a month ago now, um, my father lives down in Georgia, down past Griffin, Georgia, and he's not well. He's in his late 70s or mid 70s, and he's having some issues. So I decided to leave and head down there to give him a hand with that. And they kind of needed me down there. So I did that and was gone for about a week down there. When I got done with that, and this is where this conversation starts to get funny, hopefully, not just me rambling, this happened. So my wife, who loves me, but knows that I am suffering when I stare at the farm and see what's going on. That I want to get out there and I want to do this stuff. She didn't want me to do this stuff because she knew I was going to re-injure myself. So she bought me a one-way plane ticket out to Portland, Oregon, and she wanted me to kind of recreate what I did a few years ago when I went out and bought the Rabbit truck and then drove it back across country. She said, you know what, you could go out there, just do bring your stuff, go out there with some tools, maybe rent a car for 2 or 3 days, try to find a car that's worth salvaging or fixing up, and drive it back. So that was what was going to happen, and it was going to be kind of cool. So it was going to be kind of cool. I was looking forward to it. I spent maybe a week or two while I was down at my dad's house looking for a vehicle, that was worth driving back with. But unfortunately, and this isn't anybody's fault. I'm certainly not faulting Pops or anything like that. But yeah, Portland is dangerous. I was a little worried about that, but I wasn't going to stay in the Portland area. I was going to kind of head down the coast. Anyway, I missed my flight. I mean, I had to stay down there a couple extra days. And so while my wife had gotten this free ticket using points or whatever it is, and again, I don't really ask all these questions. I just kind of go with the flow. That didn't work out. So when I left my dad's, I was in the old Volvo, and instead of driving out to the West Coast or flying out to the West Coast and trying to find something, I took a road trip, a great American road trip. So I've been gone for the last 3 weeks on the road. I did 3.5 or 2.5, just shy of 3 weeks on the road, and traveled all the way up from Georgia all the way up through into Vermont and New Hampshire and Connecticut and New York, Massachusetts, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and then finally back here to North Carolina. So it has been a very long but adventurous time. I actually slept in the back of the Volvo pretty much every night, and I've made some videos trying to, kind of film. I don't know if anyone's going to be interested in it, but one of the big things that people pointed out when I got the Rabbit truck was that I really didn't take a lot of videos coming across country or that whole saga, and mostly because I was just kind of enjoying it for myself. And so this trip was kind of the same. I didn't take a ton of videos, but I did stop at some pretty cool spots and shot some short clips that I'll be sharing with you in the next couple weeks or months. But that's where I've been. And so I got home late last Wednesday night, and of course I had to do a little catching up, had to do some work. Physically, I'm feeling a lot better. I still have some serious pain going on this side, but as long as I don't overdo it, hey man, I'm all right. I'm hanging in there, sort of. So there you go. So that's where I've been, and I apologize to all the people who have posted some really nice comments. My wife has tried to answer some comments, but a lot of them are technical, like Patrick is chiming in with some technical CB stuff. She can't really do that. So all those videos you've been watching, I actually loaded those all onto the YouTube system here before I left, and just have been clicking them from private to public, I guess, as the weeks go on, so that it would still be able to push out some content to you. So that's where I've been. That has been this half of my summer. Now I'm back and I'm feeling better. I'm on light duty. I'm able to do some lifting, some moving, but I have to be real mindful not to break anything and redo this because I don't want to spend the rest of the summer sitting on the couch. I'd rather do even just light work. Bad news on the trip, never did find a car to replace the Volvo with. Good news on the trip, other than breaking down twice and having one car accident, hey, made it home okay. So that's been kind of fun. So that's it. All right, that was my story. That was just catching it all up on the life of Eric from Farpoint Farms, man. So let's go up. I'm going to try to read through some of the comments that I missed here, man. Let's see here. Charlie Porch, how you doing? Thomas saying it's been more than 3 months because you subscribed, and this is the first time I noticed a live feed. Man, I apologize about that, but that's how life slips away, man. It just, it's been an interesting summer, no doubt, or interesting year, I'd say. Patrick's asking about my back, and so I kind of filled you all in on that. Nugget saying, love the content, keep it up. You're one of the few. So here's something that you may not realize about YouTube, and I'm trying to think of some, 741, who I don't think he's in here tonight. I haven't heard from him in a while, but he's a great content creator. And there's tons of others, but that's just the one that comes to mind because he's been around a long time. You get these ups and downs in viewership, and a lot of times it's easy for you to be like, man, my videos suck, or this is terrible, or people don't like me. The truth is, it's the algorithms. I call it the algorithmic gods. And sometimes they're kind to you and your channel does really well. You get a ton of views and people seem to really like what you put out, new and old. And when you're talking about a channel like mine, I've got 700 videos out there almost. And so there's tons of people that watch old videos of mine and get a lot of repair use, information, a lot of tractor information, stuff like that, as well as the CB stuff. So right now we're in like a huge lull, which I believe in July of last year, same thing happened. And I actually emailed or sent messages to YouTube being like, what did I do? Did I swear and don't remember it or something like that? But it turns out it's just the ebb and flow of how the algorithm decides to promote your work. And in my case, I kind of take some responsibility for that. I've pushed so many reviews lately, both of products that people have sent me and just other stuff like the radio I did today, and not a lot of like how-to videos because of my injuries, that I felt like that was kind of pushing down how many people were watching my videos this last couple months. But it'll all change. Things are going to get better. I'm actually going to be doing some repair videos here shortly. I've still got that red tractor that I started on. What was it? The yard machines. And I've got a belt and like a cable that I'm going to install and do videos on. So hopefully I'll put out some new content, some new repair videos, and we'll go on. Let's see here. Michigan says hi. Ground Prepper, good to see you. David Lawrence saying hello from St. Louis. Default user saying if you're in tick country, get checked for Lyme disease. Sure, man. Yeah, I think my sister had that once years ago. Thomas saying he's in from Little Rock. All right. Heath saying I really appreciate your channel. Thank you so much. Well, thank you guys. I mean, I do it for fun. At some points, it has started to feel like a job when you put out as much content. I was putting out 4 videos a week, and then I've scaled that back to 3. And for the longest time, it was just 2 videos a week. So it sometimes feels like a job, but most of the time it's still fun. Again, like a lot of what I do in a normal year, this year being the exception, or these last few months, is stuff that I'm going to do anyway. I just got to whip out the camera. So it's nice, man. Let's see. Oh my gosh, so many people. Lacey's saying couldn't make his account work, so I'm on my mom's, but I got the BBS. Good deal, Wayne. That's great, man. Patrick saying, like the Ranger video. Yeah, what an odd radio to find for so cheap and functional, although kind of beat up. I haven't had much luck. I didn't really take it apart and clean it. I've just been busy with other stuff, obviously being out of the area. But cool radio to find at a yard sale. You wanted to know if I sold it yet. No, I haven't done anything, although I am. Somebody asked me, and maybe it was you, somebody asked me when I sell these items, do I have like a eBay account, and would you let me know? I do have an eBay account. I am getting ready to sell a bunch of stuff to kind of help offset some of the loss in funds that I've had. I do work on cars here. You can see the lift behind me there. And so that's half of the income that I make, flipping cars, fixing cars. And I haven't done any of that since end of April at this point, mid-April. So it's time to start selling some of the products that people have sent me and some of these radios that I've picked up. So yeah, it's Farpoint Farms on eBay. If you want to look for that, just keep your eye on it. I think there's 1 or 2 items that are unrelated to radio stuff right now, but there'll be some radios on there shortly. Avoid the West Coast, period. I do try to, but the Pacific Northwest does have beautiful rust-free cars that you just can't find anywhere else. And me living in the the mountains of North Carolina, the Rust Belt, it's you just can't find for any price the kind of stuff you can find out there. So Bob's just saying thank you. Well, thank you as well. KD for BOAC. Eric, I have a question for you concerning getting back into ham radio and taking the license test. I'm listening, my friend. Quantum Phaser saying take it easy. Butch is in. Thank you. Super V. Yeah, very interesting year. All right, I'm going to push down to the new messages. I'm just going to skip past some of those. I'm sorry, man. Jonathan wants to know, do I have a unit in Bearcat BC365 CRS? The answer to that, my friend, is no. I got a BC 175 XL, and I have a realistic, just like a Scanner 2000 or something like that. That's what's in the house. So, Super B, Pacific Northwest uses volcanic ash instead of salt for roads. Interesting. And that's why they don't rot out so bad, huh? Very cool. Well, we should import some here to the East Coast and maybe not make such a wreck. So anyway, let's see here. Maine saying hello, Canadians saying hello, lots of folks, man. Super B, yeah, dude, you're saying you're so far behind shooting videos. I know, man, you were on a roll last summer and then suddenly it kind of died off, but I enjoy your content. I try to watch, like when when a person comes around and becomes a part of the family here, becomes part of the channel. I try to keep up with all their stuff. I know Mower Junkie puts out some great CB stuff. I will say this. I love Mower Junkie, man. So Mower Junkie, I beg of you, please make more mower videos. Mower Junkie has fallen into a very easy trap that YouTubers fall into. We end up having one category of videos that seems to do way better than the others because, again, YouTube's algorithm is not smart enough to realize that people have more than one hobby. And so, like, his really, truly awesome mower stuff that he has some beautiful vintage Sears tractor videos and stuff like that. Plus, he got a cool go-kart last year. But, like, those videos don't get anywhere near the amount of views that his CB stuff does. So he's just kind of pushed those to the side. And it's such a shame because sometimes people's passions, all their passions are just awesome to watch. And in Mower Junkie's case, I felt that way anyway. Apparently, I was in the minority. But anyway, that's how it is. And I think, my channel, my wife and I have discussed on several occasions here in the last couple months the idea of splitting the channel into different channels, which is something that happens quite frequently where I focus on maybe having a mechanical channel and a radio channel and a homesteading or off-grid type channel. And that's probably going to happen. We may even have a food channel. But honestly, I have a hard time keeping up with this. So the idea of splitting it amongst that just seems daunting, I guess I would say is the word I'm looking for. So there you go. Let's see here. Let's see. Somebody's laughing at it. Have you tried the external mic on your President Randy? I have not. I have not played a lot with radios. Like I said, I've been gone for a month. Now, me and the McKinley got real familiar with each other because I've put 90 hours in the Volvo, which has the McKinley and the Striker antenna in it. And I talked all over the place with that thing. Not just local, but just everywhere. Just skip and trucks, accidents where you're just talking on channel 19 and just having fun, talking with drivers, traveling across country. So it was great to have the McKinley in the car. Didn't get a whole lot of footage. I mean, it's just kind of dangerous to be, whipping out the camera while you're driving and talking on the radio. So not a ton of footage. I think I did get one accident where I was talking with some drivers about, alternative routes just to show how useful CB radio still is in the 21st century. But so there you go. Bob's asking, or thanks for the GMRS content. We use the heck out of them here in the sticks. Yeah, I've been real happy with that Midland stuff that I've picked up. Got the 40 watt here right next to me. And now I've got the Lincoln Plus and the Uniden Bearcat 980. So I've got like a pretty good setup going here. Super B saying the shed's still not done. Holy cow, man. Yeah, well, I would make fun of you or laugh at you or shake my finger, at you, but I get it. I'm sure that something, came up, and it often does. And good Lord, the price of lumber right now, who could afford it, right? You probably take that shed apart and sell it for 3 times what you built it for. We have that huge pile of cull wood that we accumulated before all this went down. We used it to build that shed last year, if you watch the build project I did there. And so my wife and I have been joking around that that's become our retirement fund. Like I could sell that cull lumber and retire because, gosh, man, it's just crazy. Excuse me. Reggie, good to see you, man. Hey, from Dublin, Ireland. That's so cool. It's so cool that I get, talk to people in Canada and Australia and Ireland and England. I mean, you name it, man. It's just awesome to me. That's the beauty of the internet for sure. Adam saying I missed it. The Zatstone? I'm not sure what I don't remember that one. Thomas saying the analytics work better for channels if you the analytics work better for channels if you only do one thing on the channel. And isn't that weird, Thomas? Like I'd love to have like a conversation just about that one thing. Like why is that? How hard is it to make a computer program that's able to be like, hey, let's push this channel's content, this half, like, let's make these food videos available to people who like food videos. Let's make these radio videos available to people who like radios. But it's not that smart, man. It's not that smart. It doesn't know what to do. And this year, I think, is the first year that my tractor videos, my like lawnmower, my yard stuff, is just dead because it just doesn't know what to make of me. It thinks I'm a radio guy only. So it may have to do that, but it's so silly. But I guess that's, I think the culture wants us dumbed down to being that one track mind no matter what it is. So very interesting. Delta X-Ray 444 just got the new McKinley EU wideband. Great, dude. Awesome. Any thoughts on the Galaxy DX2547? Never owned one. Always looking for one. Never heard a bad thing about it, my friend. Jeff Ritter bought the McKinley on your advice. Love it. Yeah, I mean, McKinley's a great radio. Always dead on, when you're talking sideband or AM, and lots of features and functions. So I've had that in my winter car, and like I said, 3,200 miles, about 90 hours in the car with it. Spent a lot of time with that radio on. Spent a lot of time talking. Good radio. Super B says yes, I could, and still have. I still have to finish the siding on it. That's all. Okay, well, so it sounds like it's somewhat usable anyway. Yeah, plywood that costs $15 is now $79. Yeah, one of the things, if you follow my channel, that I talked about in the winter before everything went sideways was I was going to be building a micro camper for my little pickup truck, my little Rabbit truck, and one of the reasons that didn't happen is because of the prices just going through the roof. I have about 90% of the stuff that I needed, but not enough. Not enough to make a difference. Not enough that I would want to actually pay all the money for those last pieces because it would just double the price of the thing. Jonathan McKay saying, I remember when you added your name to this channel for a week. Were you going to make a channel for Jen with Farpoint Farms? Yeah, John, I don't know what the heck that's all about. I saw that too. Like it said Eric in quotations or in parentheses or whatever it was. I had nothing to do with that. That was just YouTube being weird. So, really strange. Jason, Missouri, any thoughts on the unit radio that is a CB and a scanner? Expensive, but awesome. So, High Country Pioneer just ordered a 2021 Mirage 5-speed. What's the road noise like at 70 miles an hour in the interstate? Do you think you can make 300K? The road noise on our cars, it's so funny. Like the internet says, oh no, it's terrible. It's too noisy. That car is too primitive. My wife and I, neither one of us have had any complaints about the noise in the car. She says her 2021 is quieter than my 2018. I'm deaf enough that I can't personally tell the difference. But it may be that the fact that they have different types of tires on them. I don't know. As far as will it make it 300K, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. It's a chain engine. It's very, very well built. It's been around a long time. So awesome, dude. Congratulations on that. That I'm very, very happy with my Mirage. I might be the only positive reviewer out there on those things, but they're great little cars, man. Hers has, I think, 5,000. Mine has 15. So no issues, which you wouldn't expect at that low a mileage, but still. Bob saying, from what you have seen, you have a pretty good modular home. Could you share? Looking for one for retirement? Yeah, it's a double wide, and it's a base model, but we upgraded it when we moved here. I put in hardwood floors. I put in tile. Replaced all the washer and the dryer that came with it because they were getting on in age, and we got a new dishwasher this year and a new stove last year, and next year we're hoping to maybe redo one of the bathrooms. So nothing like, the only thing I've had to do that I would say was real maintenance was we had to replace the roof on it 2 years ago. 10-year-old roof, but up here with the snow load, that's not too terribly unusual. But yeah, I can't, I don't talk about it. I've done work on it and maybe made 1 or 2 videos talking about mobile home living. I think that the people looking down on that as a housing, I think that's kind of fading away. Although, heck, you can't afford a mobile home these days because of the lumber prices. Hey, Barney, wow. I didn't even notice this until just a second. Barney MM2, $5. Thank you very much, man. Thank you. A super chat. You're the man, brother. Appreciate that. I don't, come on, do these live shows and be like, give me money. Although I think it would be funny to do that. But I always appreciate it when somebody does. So thank you. And I'll tell you, to be painfully honest with all of you, this has been a very, how do I put this, thin couple months. Like I said, not being able to run my business, not being able to do car repairs has cut deeply into my income level, and not having anything to sell from the farm has cut slightly into my income. So yeah, it's been an interesting summer. Okay, Adam, you were talking about that BJ216, and I have not had time really to play with it much since installing it. I've listened to it a few times. There is sporadic chatter. I do finally get some repeater contact with this J-pole antenna I put up on the roof, but honestly, between injuries and just having to do everything but having to do it slowly, man, like my radio time, my everything time has just been soaked up. Joseph, hi, I have one equipment you have in there. Wait. Joseph's asking if she should be scared of the FCC. I worry about fines if I broadcast and leave my number. I'm not sure I totally understand your question. So, depending on what country you're in, in America we have the Federal Communications Act. We have something called Part 15. If you follow the rules to Part 15, you should not run into any trouble with the FCC if you're going to transmit on AM or FM. If you want to do something that falls outside of FCC regulations, and I'm not giving any kind of legal advice on this, but I have several friends who do that, several people that I know who have asked me for advice privately who do that, and they've been operational for years and years and years and never had an issue. Don't step on anybody else's toes, and you usually will do fine. Most of the guys that get caught doing something like that, they're swearing, they're playing, inappropriate content on the air. They're using, super high power. I would say anything over 50 watts is likely to get you noticed. Or they're using a transmitter that bleeds over onto other frequencies, and that upsets, airplane, pilots and ham radio operators, stuff like that. So that would be where I would get worried about it. But no, if you follow the rules to the best of your ability, even if you somehow manage to fall into the FCC's blanket, when they come and visit you, you're not going to have any problems. You're going to apologize for breaking the rules without knowing it. You're going to fix it, and you're going to be done. Now, if you completely violate those rules over and over again, yeah, you're going to get a fine and might even go to jail. I don't recommend it. I don't think jail sounds like a fun place to spend retirement. Delta X-Ray 444, with your permission, I could add you as a featured channel on my channel if it would help. It certainly would, my friend. I appreciate that. And if you would shoot me an email, I'd be happy to do the same for you. I don't believe I might have gone to your channel, but I'm not sure. There's so many people that send me info, it gets kind of jumbled up. But yeah, shoot me an email to that farpoint.farm.survival@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to chat with you privately on that. But I'd also be happy to do a show with you or whatever you want to do. I'm going to fast forward again. I'm missing some of it. Yeah, Greg, I was just talking about that BJ218, and I haven't really had a ton of time to play with it since I installed it, unfortunately. But I am working. I'm working on it. Give me a couple more weeks, a couple more months, trying to get back on top of things. I just got back here about 2 days ago, so. 404 not found. Hey Eric, you put out some fantastic videos. What do you think of the Midtronics line of battery analyzers? Industry standard. Midtronics is like the industry standard. Every shop I worked at before starting my own, that's pretty much what they had, either that or a Snap-on. And I always felt that Midtronics was easier to use and fairly reliable. I mean, obviously, if it's got corrosion, you can sometimes get a false, failure or something like that. But Midtronics makes awesome equipment. Tom Sawyer's asking if I still got the Yugo. I do not, my friend. I sold that Yugo. And it's one of the things that I regret in life. I try to find these quirky cars. I've been looking for a Daihatsu Charade for like 3 years now. I've been looking for a Geo Metro convertible for about 3 years now. And a variety of other like oddball 80s Econo boxes. Those are the cars that I'm in love with. Those are the cars that I like to fix up and play with. But like everything, I'm not a rich man. So when I invest in a car like that, and when I restore one, fix one up, eventually I have to part ways with it in order to recoup my losses, my money. And so sometimes I make money on them. In the case of the Yugo, I think I made $100. It wasn't about making money on the Yugo. It was about the experience. I got to know every nut and bolt of that car. I completely took it apart, put it back together again, new engine, the works. And so that was really what that was about. It wasn't so much about making money, but it did tie up a lot of time. It did tie up the shop here for almost 3 or 4 months getting it all done. So that was awesome. I love that car, and the guy I passed it on to apparently wasn't happy with it, but made himself happy with it after he did some more work to it. So it lives on as a collector piece now. Right on. Thanks, guys. Okay, so let's see. High Country thought about Ubering in the Mirage to make up for lost income. Yeah, there is no reason you couldn't do that in a Mirage. My wife's, so the 2021 5-speed, we just both did long drives in our Mirages. Mine got 46 on the highway on a long drive in flatlands, which we don't really live in. Hers got 52. So there's your final analysis. I know a lot of people asked about the Mirage CVT versus 5-speed. Her 5-speed does get better gas mileage even on the highway. So let's see here. Oh my gosh, so many of these. Disagree, saying the FCC is usually asleep at the wheel. So don't piss off the government. that's that's going to be my best observation of that. Is don't go out of your way to piss off the government, because like anything, if you wake them up, they're coming and they're shaking a fist at you. Blasted Freak. Hello, Eric. I see you have a Yugo. I used to. I love the small cars, man. Oh, no Yugo. Yeah, sorry, Blasted Freak. Jesse, how's it doing? Here's a funny story, guys. Jesse and I went to cop school together, and we're friends on Facebook. And Jesse, his name is not Jesse. It's like Rogue One Squadron Jesse or something like that on Facebook. I have another Jesse that I was in the Army with, and so I got a message. It was like a happy birthday to one of the other guys in cop school. And I thought to myself, how the heck does my Army buddy from like Iowa know him? And I think, Jesse, you probably thought that I had maybe lost my mind, and because I was like, how do you know him? And you're like, oh, bro, we all went to cop school together. A little bit of an embarrassing senior moment there, but that's life when you start getting older, man. The Jessies get mixed up. But anyway, good to see you, buddy. Delta X-Ray saying, Eric, you should always put your PayPal in your chat or on your About section if you want people to throw you a few bucks. Well, that's cool. I appreciate that. If somebody wanted to PayPal, it is emort007, EMORT007 at hotmail.com. And again, I'm not asking for cash, but if somebody wants to throw me a buck, I'm always pleased to have that. I do have a couple of Patreons. I have like $15 a month in Patreon, which is a big deal. Somebody thinks highly enough of the content that I put out to donate like monthly to the channel. That's really cool, man. That's, again, like I don't go out of my way asking for that, but it was pretty impressive. Super B is asking, how's the GTI motor running? One of the few true awesome points of this whole year, my friend. I love my little rabbit truck. That GTI motor is just purring like a kitten. Had a few issues with it when I first got it installed. It was, I had manually adjusted shims, which I made a video of because somebody was asking about. I had two of them that I guess I measured wrong. So I got it running, drove probably 400 or 500 miles on it, and they were just noisy, man. And so I went back and readjusted everything. And now it purrs like a kitten. Always starts on the first bump. I mean, just awesome. And so much more power than the old stock 1.6 that was in there. So really loving it. That G-Grind cam, which I wasn't going to do, but you kind of talked me into it, really helps, pump up the power just a little bit. And, it's still got stock exhaust, so I think that's the hold up on it now. But I'm not going to mess with it. I love it just the way it is. I've put... I mean, we're talking close to 5,000 miles on it since I put that motor in. I mean, I drove it literally every day, rain or shine, for the first like 2.5 months. So, and all the farming, left the T100 just sitting there collecting dust. So, it's been awesome, man. Tom Sawyer saying he saw a convertible Metro with 26,000 miles for sale. Holy cow. Yeah, it's hard to find a decent Econo box from the 80s because they were kind of considered disposable cars. Then you add to the fact that Metro convertible was only available for 3 years, and with any convertible, rust is a bigger issue. It is really hard to find one that's worth saving, but I hope to own one. I want to compare it to first gen Miata, which I've owned, and I know they're not anywhere near the same, but I think that it's so interesting to drive something like that, half the size of a Miata. Patrick says, when are you going to do a Midnight Cafe again? So, hopefully within a week or two. I'm going to do 5 or 6 episodes between now and say mid-August, so I need to get it going. But again, I just got back home, and so I'm trying to put it all together. So no comment. Jesse saying, yeah, that was an embarrassing moment. My wife was even like, "What is wrong with you? You need to pay attention." Yeah, I do need to pay attention. It's a good thing. Oh, here's a story. This is most like I'd say there's 99% guys on the channel here tonight. Jason in Missouri is asking, we often sing it in the car. Hey, Hudson in Missouri, man, I'm glad you like the channel, and I'm glad you like Farpoint Farms, man. I'm glad to hear that. Crypto saying, hi, Eric, how you doing? I'm very close to getting back on my feet. Andrew, hello from Ireland, good to see you. Yep, Delta X-Ray, that is correct. So here's the thing. This was a conversation I actually had with my dad, who, again, he's in very poor health now, and I went and sat with him for a week, and we talked about life, and it's interesting to get your midlife perspective, and the end of life perspective, or not the end, but as you head into the sunset. So we were talking about how when we're young, and again, I don't know the age group, but I do see most of these guys' names here. So when we're young and we're men, we're like, man, I'm not letting no woman tell me what to do. When I get married, I'm going to be in charge of everything, and that's just the way it's going to be, and I'm going to lay down the law. In fact, I have a very good friend who is quite a few years younger than me, and he still says that. He's recently married a couple years now, and that's it, man. I'm not letting any woman tell me what to do. And you get to this point where, and I don't even know when it happened, but obviously it must have been sometime right around 40, where I just stopped caring. Like, I don't even care. I make financial decisions for the businesses that I run, and some of the bigger stuff around the house. But dude, if it wasn't for my wife, I don't know that I would actually know what's going on any given moment. I can't keep track of days. She's letting me know when I got doctor's appointments. Like I can't keep up with any of that stuff anymore, and it doesn't bother me at all. Like I don't care that my wife wakes me up in the morning and says, "Don't forget you got to do this," and "Don't forget you got to do this." I'm blessed to have a wife that's keeping an eye on things for me, or I'd forget half the stuff I'm supposed to do in this world. So there's my funny story. Maybe y'all can chime in on how you feel, how it is in your relationship, depending on your age. But I'm kind of curious to see how that is. Let's see. Crypto wants to know good FM transmitter station as far as what kind of transmitter to get. The 15 watt ones like I have, and I've got one sitting right there. I'll be giving away here probably in 2 months. I want to do. I've got a President CB radio. I want to do a giveaway on that. So it might be more towards the fall. But 15 watts gets you a couple miles. Stays off of people's radar. You can get a bigger or build a bigger antenna and really do a great job of getting out for a couple miles. My buddy down in Raleigh that runs the one, I can't even remember what brand that was now that I did a video on it. I sent it down to him. He runs 87.7 down there, and he's in a major city, and he gets 4 or 5 miles of range in any direction, and he's had it operational now for over a year and a half. Never had a knock, never had a letter, never had, as far as he knows, any issues. So still working beautifully. It does have a loud fan is the only thing that he told me he doesn't like about it, because he has it in his bedroom, and so it'll when it gets hot, it runs a pretty good fan. Okay, let's see. Greetings from Kansas, Mad Jack. About a month ago, I got a realistic 23-channel base station, and it worked quite well. This summer, I'm saving up for a unit and scanner. Right on, dude. Yeah, you'll be happy with both of those. Well, I love realistic radios. They're great radios, and scanners are fun. A lot of people saying, "Oh, it's moved to digital. It's not so much fun." But a lot of analog still in my area. KD4BOA, yeah, happy wife, happy life, right? Why argue about it? Joseph, I'm going AM transmitter. Is there an easy setup? Oh, so Joseph, if you're going to do an AM setup, watch my video on public radio or community radio that I did. There's 2 books that you can get for free on the internet that talk about how to build a good antenna, how to stay within the law, and how to build a good AM transmitter or buy a good AM transmitter. That video really gets into it pretty well. I spent a lot of time on that one. And I use a Hamilton Rangemaster 20. I got it fixed. Had a guy here locally actually that works on TVs who could fix it. Older than Father Time, but he managed to do it. So 21 and a half years. It's been rolling, and I built a bigger antenna for it, and I get about 2 miles at night, maybe 1.5 miles during the day, and it's totally legal. So I love that little radio station. High Country Pioneer, what was your MOS? I was a 63 Bravo at the end of my career, and a 12B, which was mechanized infantry engineer at the beginning. Mr. Shriek in the creek. Hello, my friend. The woman is always the boss. No, exactly. Jeff Grant, what is your CB handle? Well, I used to go by North Star for the longest time, and now I go by Farpoint Farms, because that's what pretty much everybody knows me. So most wives are more organized than the hubby. Yeah, no doubt. I'm going to move. Well, I'm listening to a whole bunch of your stuff. Let's see here. There we go. Jonathan saying, well, I don't have to worry about a wife telling me what to do, but I have to worry about the, hey. That's funny, Jonathan, man. I guess it's the same no matter what, isn't it? Crypto, thank you. Andrew, the Star Farm. Eric, do you own a Baofeng? I do have a Baofeng handheld. I haven't used it in probably 2 years now. So many radios that come and go around here. And I mean, no matter what ham stuff I play with or what GMRS or what, FRS stuff I play with, I'm always drawn back to CB. There's just so many people talking on it here. Seems like that's what I always end up playing with. DC Volts want to know, do you know of a small SSB mobile radio? The smallest is the Uniden PC 122XL, which they don't make anymore. That's about the smallest sideband radio that I'm aware of. And I wish there was a smaller one than that. I wish there was something like President Bill sized, but apparently the circuitry causes them to have a bigger one, Happy wife, happy life. Household 6, she's the commander. No kidding, right? Oh, man. Alinco DMR. I had one of those HD1 DMRs that were pretty good radios, too. Delta's saying he had his ticket, but he always preferred 11 meters. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's a little bit of the Wild West, but it's also where the fun's at. There's just so many people on at any one given time, and now that the sun cycle's starting to turn back up a little bit, we're getting some we're getting some people, we're getting some skips. So I mean, on my trip, holy cow, about every day at 4 o'clock, there was skip rolling from somewhere. A lot of Canada, a lot from just all over, man. Crypto saying he uses the 980 SSB, size of about a Cobra 39. Yeah, it's DIN size. So the McKinley and the 980 are DIN sized. I wouldn't call them small radios, but they're definitely smaller than, say, like a Uniden Grant of the old days. So, shoot, man, a McKinley and a 102 whip, and you're probably talking to the world, or a McKinley and a A99 on the roof, and you're talking to the world for sure. So great stuff. Let me see what time it is here. Cool. All right, I gotta have to cut out of here about 7:50. My wife should be home about then, and we got a date night, which is nothing but watching Svengoolie on the TV set. But she's actually getting off early enough to watch it, and made me promise that we'd spend time and maybe have some popcorn. So, well, she's gonna have the popcorn. I can't really eat that stuff anymore. And if I try to, she'll remind me that I'm not supposed to eat that stuff anymore. Super B saying he loves his Grant. I've got my Uniden Grant. It was in the closet for like 3 years collecting dust, and now it's back. In my office or my bedroom, my guest room, and I talk on it on the Friday night nets around here with that other Antron that I picked up at a yard sale. So that's been cool to have two setups, because in the wintertime, I don't like sitting out here in the garage, man. I'll work out here in the garage all day, but like when you sit down and just try to talk on the radio, man, your hands get cold. Everything starts getting cold pretty quick. Even with the wood burning stove going, it just gets rough. So. Katie's talking about free banding back in the 70s and 80s, the Wild West. Yeah, man, and I've got a couple radios with the the switches, the extra channels, and I don't know that anyone really uses it anymore. I can't remember the last time I heard a voice on there, but I'm sure when the sun cycle picks way up and we can't talk 5 feet, it'll probably be in use again. Joseph saying the Supersonic 3-band with Bluetooth and cassette recorder is great. Huh, okay. Cherokee, yeah, Jolt. Somebody was telling me that they were talking about the Randy not having sideband, which a lot of people were criticizing. That was a popular video. There was like 20,000 views on that thing last time I checked. But a lot of people were criticizing that radio for not having sideband, and I think we kind of get, as like pro users or as like hardcore users, I think we get caught up in the idea that every radio that's worth its salt has got to have sideband. But the truth is, for 95% of CB users, they don't even know what sideband is. So it's totally off the radar. And for them to go ahead and spend the money to try to wedge sideband into that beautiful handheld, for 5% of the population, and then have to raise the price so that half the population doesn't buy it, it just doesn't work out. I would love to if they offered one like that, just like everyone else, but it's just not it's not likely to happen. Yeah, Matt Jack saying Svengoolie. Yeah, and there's like a cool looking movie I've never seen on tonight, something about time travel or whatnot. So anything that I haven't seen, I love a good cheesy movie like that, and so does my wife, thankfully. So Katie saying high blood pressure, the silent killer. Yeah, it's interesting. My doctor, I guess also my boss, told me, hey man, you got to lose some weight. You got to stop eating all that crap. and I used to have to take like 3 different types of blood pressure medication. Well, turns out I lost some weight and stopped eating all that crap, and I don't even have to take blood pressure medication anymore. And the last time I saw her, she took the blood pressure on me, and it was like 118. Gosh, Jesse, if you're still in here, you remember the night in cop school? It was like 210 over 190. They thought I was going to croak right there during PT. Well, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Turns out, you quit drinking, you live right. It's just, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's almost like if we pay attention to these things, we'd probably live a long life. Robert Vance wants to know, have you ever owned a Cobra 75 WXST? Are they a good radio? I have owned one. I don't like them. I got rid of it. I didn't like it. There you go. Partially because I'm blind. And the other thing is that, yeah, it's all in one. It's that handheld, got it all there. But all the little buttons and everything, and a very small screen with 10,000 little things going on in it. Very hard to keep an eye on while you're driving. The Midland that I've got, that 75-822 that I put in the Mirage, bigger bigger unit. The buttons better laid out. The screen's still a little small. I wish they would update that, but better all the way around, man. I'd go with that unit. And plus, Midland 75-822. Plus, you can use that as a walkie-talkie. It's the 2-in-1 where you can have it as either or, which is an advantage over the 75. Joseph didn't know about sideband until started watching the channel. Exactly. That's the thing, is like most guys that play with CB, they don't really get into that. That's like the hardcore side of thing. And of course, most of the people watching this channel are hardcore, users at this point. But let's see, Mr. Garcia, any experience with Galaxy? So yeah, I get that a lot. I have not had any experience with Galaxy. Of all the radios that I come across, never owned a Galaxy. They're pretty pricey and they're good. So you just don't come across them that much. But I'm always looking for one. So I love KD4. Sorry, man. 148 GTL and the 980 are both great sideband. Great. They're just great. You can use them as base or mobile. And gosh, I'm 4 or 5 years now into the Uniden as a base. That 980 and. I was kind of like, gee, should I do this? Because that's a lot of money. $100 is for a brand new radio, but it turned out to be a great investment. Hey, Eric D, good to see you, man. Jason in Missouri, next radio will be a President McKinley. Yeah, man, it really is. It is. It's a good value for the price, no doubt. President swapped out SSB for different screen color and other non-essential things. Okay. I don't know, man. So you think that, Jolt, you're saying that you think that if they had left it with one screen color, and I don't know what other youth thing on that what you would consider non-essential, that they could have afforded to put SSB in it. But I don't know. I don't know what kind of circuitry is involved in making an SSB radio versus, just the cost of an LCD screen having more than one color. I can only tell you that I like the Randy. It's a good radio. I played with it here on the farm, and usually when I'm working the farm, I'll have my little FRS radio, and I have the GMRS radio on in here, and we talk back and forth that way. Fine coverage. I used the Randy for a couple of weeks that way. I was out on the tractor or down on the lower property, and it worked just as fine. So I would say for what its intended uses for, it's been a great radio, and the battery has a really long life too, which is kind of cool. All right, let's see. Me and my sister are having a sleepover tonight with movie theater, watching The Wiggles. I don't think I've ever seen The Wiggles. Who needs a flashlight and a walkie-talkie? Yeah, but I think, Joel, that's they're all going to that. I'm just trying to think if I had any more laying here. But every Retrievus or Retivus, whatever you call it, radio that I've gotten lately, they all got the flashlights on them. A lot of the GMRS knockoffs or business band radio knockoffs, they've all got flashlight. I guess it's just a thing, Super B says brand new President McKinley's. We need to do a giveaway. Right on, dude. You should totally do that on your channel. I bet you suddenly would have. I'll advertise it on mine that you're having it on yours, and you'll find yourself with probably another 1,000 subscribers. People usually love a giveaway, and I've got the Adams that I'm going to be giving away, and then like I said, the other 15-watt FM transmitter. But I should have done one of those in April, and of course, that's how that works. Hey, 556, good to see you in there. That's also good. Super B, you're the kind of guy, you sending me the cigars tells me everything I need to know about you, and that cool shirt. like we feel better when we do nice things for other people. I don't talk about it on this channel, but I give away most of what I get as far as review products from people, and some stuff that I am having to sell to kind of earn some money this go around. As soon as things turn around, I help people out all the time with mechanical fixings, and this channel is kind of all about helping people out with the repair stuff. But it's good to be able to give back when you got all these fans, people that leave comments religiously or just come to shows like this. It's nice to be able to offer at least one of them out there. Hey, man, you might win something. So, kind of cool. Let's see here. Oh boy, High Country Pioneer wants to get deep real quick, man. Are we on a path to economic collapse? Is there any question about that, sir? Yes, 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 we are. Yes, and that's the end of that. Anamorphic Addict says SSB is where the fun is at. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Yes, that is very true. Sideband is where most of the fun happens, but you got to convince new users to get into it, and so that's where it kind of gets difficult. The other thing about SSB that I'm not sure that the Randy would have benefited from is, like, at best I'm looking at a 1.5 mile range with Randy. So adding SSB, it's like you're not going to be talking skip. You're probably not going to be able to make any local nets at a 1.5 miles. So I don't know. Maybe you're extending the range to 2 miles, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd be interested in talking to somebody who owns a Cherokee and actually has used it for shortwave and how they felt about it. Oh, Joseph, you were talking about shortwave. Oh yeah, I've actually got 2 or maybe even 3 videos that I'm working on for shortwave. That I've got that loop antenna. I want to do a follow up on it, and I filmed bits and pieces over the winter, and then just kind of stored them on the hard drive. And I need to get back in there and edit those up. But I've got a new shortwave radio. Actually, a fan of the channel sent me. He claimed, and we're going to find out because I haven't unboxed it yet, he claimed that the DX302 from Radio Shack is not the best shortwave radio ever built, even though I feel like it is. So he sent me what he felt like the best shortwave radio ever built was, and that is the DX394. I believe it was Radio Shack's last shortwave radio as far as like a base unit. And so he sent it to me. I got it while I was gone, it came. And I'm going to be opening that up, and we're going to do some comparisons between the 302 and that one, and some more shortwave stuff. So, yeah, lots of cool stuff, especially after the sun goes down. Let's see. Any type of CB is better than no type. No doubt about that. Ray Stone, good to see you in there. Eric D says he has a Yaesu FT101 ham with factory 11. No kidding. Huh. I have not ever looked into it, but I definitely will. FT101. I'll have to check that out. ICOM IC706 MK2 is a free band radio as well. Okay. Yeah, all right. Boy, I've got, hold on. I'm going to skip ahead, guys, just so I can keep up. I'm sorry I'm falling so far behind. I know there's like a delay, too, so everything I'm saying to you has probably happened 3 minutes ago, but I let a bunch of stuff get ahead of me, so I'm just going to blow past a few. Yeah, I'm sorry. Joseph wants to know, I'm going far on the Part 15 radio. And this is the 1970s realistic DX160 with side speaker that I restored. Oh, man, I'm like, wow, okay. I'm having a hard time. Bedside shortwave, Jason in Missouri. Yeah, the DX160, that's the one with like the round barrel that has the knob there, to go through the channels. Love it. All those Radio Shack. I have a DX100 and a DX302. Beautiful, beautiful radios. In fact, I'm actually probably going to get rid of the 100, unfortunately, because of this radio that this gentleman sent me. But they're just gorgeous radios, man. They're just, the way they're built and all this stuff is just so nice. Joseph was saying, I'm going for a Part 15 side. I know I will do good. People will come far to listen. If we build it, they will come. Yep. Man, like, I have listeners who, y'all are asking about the Midnight Cafe. When am I going to do another one? I do them all the time. I just don't do them here on YouTube because of censorship issues. I have the Shoutcast stream of my personal radio station, or one feed off of the radio station, and so you're always welcome to look at that. But live feeds are sporadic. Whenever I do a live feed, a lot of times if I'm ranting and raving about stuff like economic collapse, which is not really a topic that's YouTube appropriate these days, that would be something that the never aired on the internet version of the Midnight Cafe goes on. And we're 22 years now, maybe, yeah, 22 years of the Midnight Cafe. So this is season 22. That's pretty crazy. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh, I've missed so many. I'm sorry, guys, that you guys are actually. This is a good problem to have. People are commenting so much that it's just blown past here. Also, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm having a hard time reading some of this stuff. Anamorphic Adam says, my best buddy when I was a kid had a Zenith Oceanic shortwave. He thought it was the best thing ever. I know. I had one of those, man, with the top, with the adjustable ferrite core on the top that turned, so you had your. Oh man, I had one of those. That was a great radio. I had one of those, and that was my first shortwave, actually. HTX 252, I used to have one of those. Daniel Kingsman. Yep, I had one. I finally got rid of that one. The cabling, the cord, for the microphone was really shredding, but it still worked fine. That was a good radio. Hello, Megan Boyle. How you doing? Late to the party. Greetings from Boston. Good to see you. I was up your way, actually. I was all over the place, man. You'll have to someday watch the beginning of this. I gave like a 5 or 10 minute, let's get caught up on what I've been doing. KD4, political correctness on the internet. Yeah, I know. Who's ever heard of that, right? Well, that only happened from 2016 on, right? Everything was fine until things weren't fine. Chrono Bear Eric, you're the boss. Well, thank you very much. It's good to have you in there. I'm actually not the boss. Well, I am the boss sometimes, but unless there's anybody else around, then I'm suddenly not the boss anymore. Turbo Omni, happy New Year, my friend. Turbo Omni, driving a car way cooler than the Rabbit pickup truck. A GLH Dodge Omni is a pretty awesome car. If you've never looked into those, I urge you all to take a look at what that awesomeness is. John McKay, do you record the ones that are unaired on YouTube? I'd like to hear about your rants. I do, John, and they are put into the feed on Shoutcast. So it's the Voice of the Mountains Shoutcast, WFPF Radio, and sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Most of the time it's up. But if I do a live show, it usually streams live on that as well, and then it gets put into the rotation with used ones. Andrew Kennedy saying 118,000 on his 3-cylinder. I know what ethanol production. Yeah. Andrew, good to see you, man. How's the back? So, Megan, things are getting better. Still not great, but I'm able to do light duty, limited duty. So I used a chainsaw today. I just couldn't pull the tree branches and the trees down. I couldn't do the heavy lifting and the hauling, and it hurts. Usually I put about an hour and a half in, and then I left to sit down for about an hour and a half. But that's a whole lot better than not being able to breathe for 4 or 5 weeks straight. So things are getting better. Things are definitely getting better. Chrono Bear says, taught you so much about garden tractors. Proud owner of a TS354 XD. Awesome. Was amazed to find out that I'm a fellow ham as well. Well, thank you, man. Yeah, I'm sorry there hasn't been a lot of tractor stuff this year, but because of my back injury, I haven't been able to do a lot of repairs. If you remember over the winter, I bought 3 tractors that I'm fixing up or was going to, and I had to put a giant pause on that. But guess what? The pause is over. I'm back to being able to lay down on my back and kind of move around a little bit. So, hopefully within 2 or 3 more weeks, maybe we'll start seeing some new content related to garden tractors, riding mowers, stuff like that. Hello from Joplin, Missouri. Good to see you, buddy. 65, had a CB since he was 13. Right on, man. The boss of the house until the missus comes home. That's correct. Chrono Bear says, please hit the like button. And I agree. Please hit the like button. I'm not sure how it affects things, but it's always nice to see that people appreciate the channel. Ray Stone's also saying he's the boss until the wife's around. Oh, my gosh. Prayed for your back when you announced it. Got to remind God. Man, that's right. Thank you, Chrono Bear. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the kind words that I got from all of y'all. So many people reached out, man. So many people. Hey, Robbie Strikes there. Hey, Eric. You see you doing live streams again and was out. I'm home and can use the Wi-Fi. Robbie, thank you, man. Robbie Strike, for those of you who don't know him, he's got an awesome channel. He is like the king of satellite free-to-air information, and he got me back into it, and oh, man, do I love it. Robbie, I got an Edison 4K, so I'm going to be playing with that shortly. So I'll be able to get some even more strange feeds on my big dish and my little dish, man. But satellite is like shortwave of outer space. It's great stuff up there. And Addict says he wants to have racing mower races at Farpoint Farms. I could get into that. I could get into that. What's the scoop with the Yugo? So, dude, so Megan, if you go way, way back in the Wayback Machine, I used to have a Yugo. I had it that one in the picture there. That was mine. But I did sell it about 3 years ago now. Just looking for a cool picture to put up tonight, and that's the one I came up with. But I missed that Yugo. I drove it about a year. I put about 5,000 miles on it after I restored it, and then I passed it along to somebody else, and it's still alive. It got restored even further after I was done with it, and what a cool car. I always wanted to own a Yugo, and I come across one for $400 with a blown motor about 4.5, 5 hours from here, and the rest is history. My wife was thankfully supportive and allowed me to fix that up and do cool stuff with it. Pop Chart wants to know, do you have a ham radio? I do. I have a 2 meter, and I am working on, well, I got 11 and 12. I got a President Lincoln Plus, and so I'm working on it. I'm working on getting my license later on this summer. In fact, I'm going to be down, and if I can do it, guys, I'm trying. It's an 8-hour drive, and I want my wife to join me. But we're going to try to get down to, here it is right here, the Huntsville Ham Fest. And that's August 21st, 9 a.m. to 4:30. We'd come down there for that. So it's a long ways away. But it's supposedly a really big ham fest, and a couple of the other guys, other channels that I follow and people that I talk with, 741 is going to be down there, I believe, and who knows who else might pop in. But it's good meet and greet, and just I'll be there. So don't be afraid to come up to me if you see me at those things. You know, I'm just as nervous about people coming up because maybe you're here to stab me or something. But for the most part, everyone I've ever met, we've had lunch with a couple of y'all, and met a nice couple at the last one we went to. So, yeah, man, there we go. Okay, I'm moving down here. Let's go on to do a live chat on Discord server about free to air. Discord is something I got to try to figure Discord out, Robbie. I was using it when we were doing, there was 1 year where we were on a radio station that wouldn't allow us to broadcast to YouTube. When we were doing the Midnight Cafe, and they had a Discord server, so I'm familiar with the software, but I'm so out of practice when it comes to technology, man. Like I'm so far out of it, dude. It's amazing. The people I work for in town, they think I'm some kind of tech savvy or something like that, but because I have a YouTube channel, and I'm like, man, you have no idea, dude. I can't hardly do anything. So. Katie wants to know, curious about my property. Ever worry about wildfires and defensible spaces around the house? I do not worry about wildfires because we have a pretty good cleared area around the house itself. As far as the second half of that, I have my feelings on that that I won't get into here. But an interesting question, my friend. Ham Fenton in Dayton is the biggest, I hear. I've never been there. Dayton, Ohio. Okay. Huh. Katie, try the Shelby Ham Fest. Yeah, I'm going to that one. I'm going to Shelby this year if it's on. So last time I checked, it wasn't happening. Shelby Ham Fest I went to 2 years ago, and it was awesome. So yeah, I'll try to get to that as well. Megan saying Jen rocks. You're a lucky guy, no doubt, right? Any man who has a supportive spouse should occasionally remember to say thank her, make her dinner. Oh my gosh, you ain't kidding. Actually, Megan, you missed it. I was talking about how as guys get older, or at least in my case, like when we're young, we're like, no woman's going to tell me what to do. I'm going to be the boss. And then we get to, our 40s and we're like, I don't care, whatever. Thank God she's there to keep an eye on me and make sure that I show up where I'm supposed to show up, when I'm supposed to show up. And, she's just, I'm very, very, very blessed to have a wife as good as Jen. So, yeah, believe me, I let her know all the time. I hope she knows anyway. I certainly try to tell her. Let's see. Have fun at the Ham Fest. We don't have one in Waco. Okay. Discords is for the youngins. I'm 29 and I feel old using it. So, Super B says, can't make it August 21st. Oldest son's Eagle Scout. No kidding. Eagle Scout is something to be proud of, my friend. I didn't get there. I got one away, man. But you turn 18 and you start, hormones start racing once you get your driver's license. And, man, it gets tough to get that last one. And that's what happened to me. That's what happens to a lot of us. So congratulations to him, man. That's a good deal. Robbie Strike says, Discord is like Messenger or Yahoo Messenger. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's what it kind of seemed like. I just felt like I was missing something in that whole thing, and I don't know because there's like voice chat and there's I don't know. It was really weird, but I'll definitely give it a shot, Robbie. Um, Katie said he used to fight a lot of wood fires up in my location. Yeah, so like Tennessee side there, near Dollywood, like that whole place burned to the ground a couple years ago. But luckily, it's growing back. Can you do HF or just VHF, UHF? I have all my licenses have expired, Chrono Bear, so I'm only on a listening basis. But I hope to get back to a general here over the summer. I'm going to take my technician and my general in the same day, God willing and luck willing. So that's the plan. A stern woman keeps a good man out of trouble, no doubt about it. Uh, yeah, no doubt. There's even a service that actually revives. Oh, cool. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read up some of this stuff. I should probably just be talking, but I'm enjoying the conversation. Matter of fact, somebody, and I don't know, maybe you're in here tonight, somebody commented when I said, hey, I'm going to do a live feed, that they were like, just don't be like those other guys that do live feeds and all they ever do is like say hi to people and talk to people. And I kind of sent him a message. And I was like, actually, bro, that's exactly what I was going to do. I said, I have these live feeds just so I can talk. I want to interact with the folks, man. People that, y'all support the channel. You watch my videos. You leave nice comments. And I don't really get a chance to interact one-on-one with you other than maybe answering a comment here or there. And sometimes with all the comments, it gets hard to keep up with that. So this is exactly what this is. This is just us talking. I just get the benefit of, I get to actually verbally talk. You guys have to type it all out. So it all works out lovely. Let's see here. D1, D, oh my gosh, 312 D-Man, Florida. Good to see you as well, man. I am feeling better, my man. Megan says it is a partnership. It's just your turn to lean on her. As my grandpa used to say, there's a lid for every pot. Hey, that is a great thing to say. I like that. I'll have to tell her that. Which is probably she's going to be like, because your screw's a little loose there. So. Katie, you were over there at Dollywood. No kidding. Yeah, that was something fierce, man. Raystone, how do I find you on CB? I run 38 lower sideband and go by 491 Night Owl on AM. So Ray, I don't have like a set time that I'm on there. As you can see behind me here, this is my shop. I work out here, fix customer cars, do stuff like that when I'm not restoring or working on my own stuff. And I usually have the radios on when that's going on. So when Skip rolls in, I'll talk. The thing is, I'm not like constant. Like I can't sit here for 2 hours and just play on the radio just because I'm kind of like I'm a busybody, man. Like I feel guilty sitting here for 15 minutes, listening to the radio unless I'm doing 3 or 4 other things. And so that's the problem. So I'm hit or miss. But when Skip turns on, I'll usually get in and talk 15, 20 minutes. Usually try to make 2 or 3 good contacts, have a conversation, and then I move out. And then, I might come back in. So I wish I could give you like I'll be here Friday night at 8 o'clock every night, but that's just not the case. I do try to do our local net here on Fridays, and sometimes I'm able to do that 45-mile ground contacts with that Antron A99 inside the one that's over on the other side of the house there. Amazing with a stock unit in Grant LT. So that's been kind of cool. Oh man, I missed a bunch again, didn't I? Robbie's just saying, yeah, there's voice chat and video chat, and that's kind of weird. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I like it. Super B, got one down, now got the youngest pushed through to Eagle. That's awesome, man. It's something to be proud of, Super B, no doubt. Must make you feel good as a dad, no doubt. Thompson saying, I like the live feeds where we talk to each other. Yeah, I think that's kind of like, that's the whole point of this. Yeah. Like I don't know what I would do a live feed. I did one just as an experiment where I just turned the camera on here in the shop while I was working on a customer car and recorded it for like 2 or 3 hours and just kind of talking. But it's hard because you're working on a car and then you're looking up, to try to see the what y'all are saying so I can kind of interact with you. So I don't know. It wasn't a terrible loss. Like people liked it, I guess. But excuse me. But it got weird. Like I did think I had a friend actually that recommended I do that. They thought you should just film your life when you're here at work because it's pretty amazing. But I can't take a camera with you out onto the farm. I can't go out in the fields and do that stuff. Can't go take care of the critters. with a live feed. But well, maybe you could if you had the right technology or know-how, but I don't. So I was kind of stuck with angles. I had it sitting over there looking at the garage, and that worked for a little while anyway. Let's see here. Chrono Bear, if you could get a Johnny Bucket or the Screwjack sleeve hitch first, what would you get? Dang. That's like a tough one, man. Both have got their stuff. I guess, what are you going to do? What do you need to do? So, like, for farming, for backblading a driveway, for, hilling dirt, for, tilling a field, then the sleeve hitch definitely is the way to go. For moving material, if I was going to move 20 yards of mulch or manure or gravel, then the bucket is clearly going to be the usable thing. So I guess I'm going to answer your question with a question. What do you got to do? What do you need to do? So that's where I'm going with that. Oh my gosh, I keep missing so much of this stuff. I'm going to skip a bunch over you. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my gosh, where we go? Let's see. Ray Stone, I try to get 707 Farpoint farms all the time. It's all in conditions. Yep. I remember that guy. He unsubscribed from someone because of his daily feeds. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Sounds like I need to start doing some isospheric bounces. Right on. Joe R says no skip in my area, Connecticut. Sorry to hear that. 312 D-Man Florida said, I've been missing you and the wife videos. It makes it funny when you talk to each other. Duct tape your head. So I got some news on that. On Sunday, you will finally get to see my wife if you haven't seen her in a live feed. We had a new solar thing. Oh wow! Hey Barney, thank you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Barney donated $20 to the channel. That's a big deal, brother. Appreciate that. We've been trying to move more and more off grid. I did a video, I think, last weekend of that little cooler, that thermocoupler cooler, which I just used on that 3-week trip. So I need to make a follow-up on that. Well, we got another thing. We got a very low wattage washer and dryer. And I use dryer in quotes. So we're going to do a video together on that, and we'll do a follow-up of us doing laundry with it. But Jen finally decided to show her beautiful face on TV. So good for her. Hope you all will be kind. Oh my gosh. Ray Stone says, a lot of people are recording Skip and playing it back. Heard myself on it the other day on Mower Junkie's channel. Yeah, it's funny that people do like that. I do that occasionally. Mower Junkie does that a lot. But like, I don't know. You would think that people would not really be all that interested in it, but they are. People do love to hear Skip and love to hear people talking. So if you're not able to hear it in your location, I guess it's cool to record that and play it for other people. I've done it before, and yeah, Mower Junkie usually Skip clips. He usually does quite a bit of it. So pretty cool stuff. Katie's saying, I know in the past you had problems raising turkeys. Is your luck better now? So we gave up on turkeys, unfortunately. I loved turkeys, but we gave up on them. We had so many illness issues, be having them and chickens. So we just do chickens right now and rabbits, and no goats, no pigs this year because of the back injury, and no growing of anything other than raised beds right up close to the house. We let the whole garden grass over, which is giving me some heart palpitations thinking about the amount of work that it's going to take next year to bring it all back, but that's the way it is. Oh my gosh. Jonathan McKay, use an old video camera with a wireless transmitter and get the right equipment to convert it to digital broadcast on your channel. I mean, I'm always looking into it. I've got all these security cameras that they send me. I wish there was a way to do that, to use one of those. But let's see here. Pow. Never accept money from Barney. You never know what that dinosaur's been up to. Well, it's kind of like compliments. When you get to my age, you'll take it from wherever you can get it, man. You know what I mean? So I don't care. It's all good. I appreciate it no matter what. Oh, gosh. Interesting. Andrew Kennedy's talking about a mini EV electric car for $4,000. That's pretty awesome. We looked into, before Jen got her Mirage, we actually looked into the Mitsubishi MIRVC. It's an electric car that was extremely unpopular here but it had about a 60-mile range, so very limited range, very small. Made the Mirage look like a midsize, but you could get them for like 5 or 6 grand. And with the ability to charge that thing off of solar, holy cow, it was like, wow, man, we could literally ride for free in this thing. But she ended up wanting to go with a traditional car. But I would like to say, without a doubt, my next commuter car, which will probably be when I hit retirement, there's no doubt it won't be electric. That's the future. A lot of folks are, you know, I don't, man, I'm going to say butthurt just because I don't know what else to say, but people are really bent out of shape over the idea of electric cars. They're coming, man. I would say manufacturers are only going to be doing one more generation of new tech gas engines, and then they're done with it, man. Tech is moving. So, holy cow, Megan, $50 from Miss Boyle. Well, thank you very, 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 very much. I don't know why you wanted to give me so much money, but I appreciate it so much, and I'm sure my wife will as well. And thank you. Thanks to all of you guys. I mean, geez, that's overwhelming. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Wow. Yeah, thank you, Megan. Chrono Bear wants to know, ever harvest hay with a GT mower deck? So, yes, sort of. Here's what I did, Chrono Bear. Let the grass grow super long. Cut it with the mower deck. It's all over the yard, right? Then I went down and took the Brindley leaf sweeper, sweep it up, and it pushes it all into the back of that thing, and I go give it to the animals. So Ed is the poor man's way of harvesting hay. We let it dry for a day or two out, and so it's nice and dry, pack it up and throw it in there. So you can be done. Yeah, you're not going to bale it, but you can definitely move it to the animals. So we have a large field area in the front and the back. We just let it grow a month and then cut it, and it works really well, man. We offset our feed costs, about 33% of our feed costs during the summer months that way. So definitely something to look into. That Brindley thing was like $250, I think it was. So High Country Pioneer, Mitsubishi's sell used around 6-7. Yeah, 60 to 70 miles. Yeah, which is, think about it this way, man. Like, you're not going to go traveling with that thing. There's no way. But to back and forth to work, I got 22 miles each way. So plenty of room to do that, and then maybe stop at the grocery store or go out to dinner, which we never do. But, let's say that I had a real life or had the money to do stuff like that, there you go. So, I mean, it's perfect for that kind of, and for that low a cost, man, it would pay for itself pretty quickly. So, Joe R.'s talking about the Mahindra. Yeah, that didn't they get sued though? I mean, I know they were using literally the original Jeep design, but they put a beautiful diesel engine in it. Looks like a cool car for sure. Yeah, Jonathan McKay's whistling, I have no doubt. Thank you so much. Psycho, for you, I'd take an offer of electric with solar charging. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I think maybe it's just younger guys. I hang out with a lot of younger guys at my day job, and they're all like into muscle cars and stuff because as mechanics, people like speed and all that stuff. I'm way too old to like speed anymore. I like fuel economy. I like things like dollar signs, like, okay, this car is less expensive and gets great gas mileage. Yay! I'm not looking at horsepower. So yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. Let's see. Miss Megan saying she loves her 2020 Outlander. Mitsubishi is working on electric vehicles. Yeah, is your Mitsubishi Outlander, is that one of the partial electric plug-ins, or is it just a regular Outlander? Because we had briefly looked at an Outlander that was one of those PEVs or whatever it's called, but it's twice. We have two Mirages, and like literally we would only have had one of those because it was more than double the price, no doubt. So, you provide me with lots of stuff and knowledge on cars, having the farm and the dream and the radio. I'm supporting your ability to continue doing that. Well, thank you, Megan. I do appreciate that. I do try to sell the dream. I think all YouTube channels kind of put out this fake reality. Like, I know the camper vans and stuff like that. Those guys always are putting out this unrealistic expectation. My little homestead is about as real as it gets because it's 50-50 failures. This year it's not even a homestead. This year, I guess it is. We still got chickens, we still got rabbits, we're still got tomatoes, and so I guess it's a farm. It's just a very, very small one. So that's the way the ball bounces sometimes, though. But for every failure, there's an opportunity to win another game somewhere in there. I'm working it out. 90 hours in a car by myself gave me lots of time to think about new strategies for life. So I'm not the kind of guy to give up. That's for sure. I've actually had a lot of weird stuff on that trip. That a lot of things to think about. Issues, in town and work and just like trying to figure out everything in life, man. So it's been pretty cool. Let's see. Joe R says he thinks he wants to try one of those zero electric motorcycles. Yeah, those things, man. I mean, think about how fast they are, too. Man. George Clark, hello from upstate New York. I was just up there, my friend. Super B, until the world embraces nuclear power en masse, electric vehicles will cause grid problems. Yeah, I mean, Super B, I think that's a valid complaint that people have as far as like, oh, electric cars, people are so stupid. We got to mine all that lithium and it's toxic and it's such a waste. And we still got to burn coal or whatever to run it. I'm not into electric because I'm trying to save the planet. I'm into it because I'm like want to do solar and want to get off grid and want to just be like self-sufficient. And so for me, having an electric car is like phase one of a two-phase problem where I want to be able to power that electric car completely off of power here on the grid. We're also looking into, we have 2 streams on the property, and I'm trying to figure out a way to maybe do, water turbine power as well. So, let's say 5 or 6 or, well, let's be honest, probably 12 years from now, I'm able to go completely off grid as far as electric goes. It would be cool to be able to add electric car to that pile so that I can literally not be paying for, fuel. So I think that'd be kind of cool. As far as nuclear power plants, I have nothing against them. Of course, I would say that, but I do have some concerns after seeing Fukushima. Now, Fukushima is the perfect storm, but man, I used to live 3 miles from a nuclear reactor when I lived down in Raleigh, and we were so close they gave us a alert radio for our house and sent us a battery every Christmas to put into it. So I wasn't afraid of nuclear at all at that point. Now, after seeing that mess, and also reading a couple articles about Chernobyl heating back up, it becomes evident to me that there's still some definite kinks that need to be worked out of that system. So, I don't know. I'm definitely not anti-nuclear, but I don't know what the answer to the future is. There we go. BC Trucks is saying he bought a President Randy and he can talk 2 miles away by my friend's mobile. Yeah, so 2 miles. I've been getting about 1.5 miles, so that sounds about right. But I'm in a very hilly area, so I think when you're talking walkie-talkies, that's pretty much what you're at. Joe R.'s talking about putting fish guts into the soil before you grow food, and no doubt that works. But if you got a lot of critters like we got, you're going to have a raccoon tear that thing to shreds trying to get to that fish head. So that would not work in our area. We use something called Milorganite, which is actually processed human manure, if I can say it that way. And that smell of that drives animals to run away. But it's a good fertilizer and it's safe, so we use that as our main fertilizer. Chickens and bees pays the bills. Right on, Kodiak Farm. Yeah, chickens are, we love them for meat and we love them for eggs. Bees, I would love to do bees. We did them the first year we were up here. I had to give them to a neighbor because my wife is very allergic to bees. So it became just maybe not a good idea to have them that close in mass. So that's why we did it. Megan's saying she has the Outlander ES, no partial electronic, crazy good gas mileage. Can carry a 90-pound golden retriever with lots of room. Right on, yeah. Well, we've got an '05 Outlander. That's Jen's winter car, and very reliable, very good car. But I'd love to see something new. Soon, Eric will be riding around in the Gilligan's Island car. Hey, man, I'd love it. When they develop a solar battery charged midsize SUV, I'm buying one. Right on. Turbo Omni says, doesn't the range suffer on electronic vehicles in cold weather? Yes, but so on the case of that Mitsubishi electric car that had 60-mile range, right? So we were looking at it like right to the bone, 22 miles each way, so 44 miles round trip. That leaves you with 18 miles of extra. So we're figuring in the cold weather, if we found out that it was just a mile or two short of what we needed, there's always the opportunity to plug it in on a regular 110 outlet at work and do a partial charge during the day instead of having to do the 220 charge at home. So that was the idea anyway. It was definitely something we looked into and something that I wouldn't put out of my head as a future. But both of us got Mirages now, and so those cars are going to last us, I would say at least 15 years we'll have those unless there's an accident. So, and probably longer, but maybe after 15 years, the technology will have moved along enough and we'll be interested in trying something like that. Have you used a mini disc on your radio station? What do you think of the format? I have not ever messed with mini discs. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. I just realized how many of these I've missed. I'm so sorry, everybody. Oh no, it's almost 8 o'clock too. Where is my wife? I'm going to have to say goodbye, everybody. It's been fun. Boy, did this blow by. Let's see here. I'm just going to read one or two more comments, then I'm going to have to say bye. I have not talked with Raccoon Radio lately. He stopped making videos for a while, but he's gone back to making a few videos. Still doing his little Part 15 radio station, his little FM radio station. So good for him. And man, Steve Dyer, man, Bobby Scott. I'm sorry you guys got in so late. I've got to get going here very shoot. Hey, Mike, good to see you as well. Guys, gals, friends, family, it's been fun. It's been fun. Thank you. I cannot believe, Megan, you donating that much money was just, thank you. As all I can say is thank you. And I hope you all will enjoy tomorrow's video where Jen will be making her first visual appearance that I can think of other than a live show. And she probably needs a little encouragement because she hasn't made a lot of videos lately while I've been gone. She's had a hard time thinking of things to do. I've told her that cooking stuff is awesome, but you guys be good. Thank you for being fans of the channel. Thank you for just being friends, man. It's been good catching up with all of you. I promise I won't let it be 7 or 8 months or whatever the heck it's ended up being. Let's make it a lot sooner than that, okay, my friends? And if you haven't hit the thumbs up, maybe you will on your way out, my friends. But y'all take care, have a good night, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.